Alright. Dwarf army is basically complete. But any army needs a hold, a kingdom, a battlefield to play on. So we've got some dwarf terrain here that we're going to be painting up. This is all 3D printed. I'm not sure what the companies are 3D printed. I'll find out. A friend of mine, I suppose, a guy at the club, printed this off for us. It's for a tournament we're running, actually, a 2000.1 day tournament for the Old World. So all I've done basically so far is to prep it up is I put some sand. I just put some real sand, like real fine sand on top of here, just to hide some of the print lines on the top of there. And then I've sprayed everything black, and then I sprayed everything from the top angle zenithal downwards with like a light grey spray paint. It wasn't white, it was just a light grey. And it's just cheap spray paint from Poundland. I think it was £2, £2.50 or something. Don't need to be too fancy here. And then what I'm going to do next is I am going to dry brush everything. I want to get a big dry brush, big old makeup brush, and I'm going to dry brush everything with white. And I'm just going to use cheap white paint. I'm not going to use the expensive Citadel paints or anything like that. I'm going to use this. I'm looking for this big ass dry brush. Just going to go over everything. And then once I've done that, I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing after that, but I'll work it out as we go, and you'll find out as we go as well, I suppose. Alright, dry brush is done. It wasn't a super heavy dry brush because the grey was pretty light anyway, so, but we've just picked out all the edges, just to bring all the detail out, I suppose. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an oil wash over everything. I'm going to do a pretty thick, heavy oil wash because I want to stain it all blue. I don't want it to be just grey and black. I want some blue in it. I might put another colour over it as well, like maybe some purple, some browns, whatever. I haven't decided yet. But I'm going to start with some blue. And I've got, let me move the light so you can see. Where is this? Prussian blue. This is just, I went into an art shop the other day and bought the cheapest one I could find. This one was on sale. It was like 50% off or something. Not sure why, but got a good deal on it. So I'm just going to mix this up with some white spirits. I like to play white spirits, just low odor so it doesn't stink the place out. You can use white spirits, or I think it's called mineral spirits or methylated spirits or something in different countries, but I'm only using this just because I don't want everything to stink. Let me move you in. A better look at this. How am I going to do this? Ooh. Oh my god. When did it become so professional? Never. Alright, I'm just going to bang load of this in here. This is an old spray can lid, if you can't tell. Yeah, like I said, I want it to be quite thick. Because I do want the blue to show up. That's such a fun sound. Alright, let's see if that's enough. Oh, such a chat. Alright. Really cheap synthetic paintbrush as well. There's nowhere near enough mineral spirits in here. Maybe there is? I don't know. Let me mix this up. I'll get to the right consistency and then I'll come back so I'm not wasting my time. Alright, we've had a little bit of a scene change. I put some cardboard down because I've got a rubber mat, a silicone mat, and I think the oil paint will react pretty badly with that. So put some cardboard down. Also keep everything tidy. Also got some gloves on because oil paint's a nightmare. This is very blue, much bluer than I expected it to be. So I've added a bit of a little bit of Payne's grey into it to try and darken it down, and I've also added a bit of burnt umber to try and just knock the blue out of it a little bit. But if it is too blue, it doesn't matter because it's oil paint, so you can get a lot of it off anyway. I might make this a bit thinner. we'll try it on the bottom and see what we end up with. Move the lights a little bit. Make sure we can get all this. See what we're doing. Oh, okay, perfect. All right, let's just bang this on. This is going to be very, very blue, I think. Put it on the back. Oh, it's so blue. Beautiful. Oh, what nice blue. Oh, very icy. I might not put this over the buildings then. This might just go over the rocks for now, and then I'll do like a paint of grey blue over the buildings. Just a bit darker. That's super blue. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm not worried. Nope, not one bit. This is all about learning, a learning experience, trying new things out. Don't be afraid of doing new things. If it doesn't work, at the end of the day, we can spray back over it if we have to. Start again. But I think it'll be fine. Okay, get some sponges up here, some cloth. Take most of this off. It doesn't matter, I've got a bit on the door there, not a problem, no big deal. Just we're on a hobby journey here, trying things out, growing as a hobbyist. Oh, look at this, you can't see the splats everywhere. I've got it on my clothes. Oh, it's all up my arm. Oh my gosh. Alright, let me do this a bit more controlled, and I'll come back once I've got all of the rocks on all of the structures that I've got. Once I've got them all done, I'm going to see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, look at my arm. Can't really see. Disaster though. Alright, everything is super duper blue. This is where we insert and blue dabba dee dabba die. Play that music on repeat while you're watching the rest of this video, I think. I'm not going to do this, I think I'll get copyrighted, but you put it on in the background if you want. Or not, whatever. Right, so what I'm going to do here is, got a bit of tissue paper. You can use a sponge, tissue, just whatever. I'm just trying to get as much of the excess off here as I can. And I've got a bit of white spirit in this tub here. So I'm just going to give it a little dip. Squeeze it out, don't want too much. And then we're just going to try to get as much extra off that we don't want in the colour that. A sponge would be better because you wouldn't get obviously over the paper, but I don't have a sponge. I mean, there was one in the house, but that's pretty far away, so I'm not going to cook like that. Alright. So let's just dab some more of this on. Dab, 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 dab. Okay. Wait. More of this. Beautiful. Look at that tissue. Oh my god, this is gonna look very blue. Again, it's your choice if you want to play it or not. I'm playing it internally in my head. I can hear it every time I say the word blue. Probably giving my age away there, but probably that. Well, whatever. If I can get a free version of Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die, that is definitely playing right now. You might not be able to hear me rambling because there's too much blue going on. No, I know it's still very blue. We're just pulling the excess off, trying to get it up to the white in the highest point. Get as much of the oil paint off as we can. Oh my god, we're so not in camera. Not focused, not anything. This is so hard, it's unbelievable. Like this. these top points. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. So there we go. You can see next to this one, it's significantly less blue where we've gone over these high points. Trying to get some of that white like. But we're going to dry brush it again anyway. Give it a white dry brush. You might be able to see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, right, okay, look. Alright. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So, you can see this one is showing the highlights better than this one. It's still very blue. It will dry less blue. And then we're going to dry brush it again with a white or an off-white, slightly off-white. And I think it's going to look good. Let me get the rest of these cleaned up and then I'll come back. I'm going to go get a sponge as well and play Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Day. Alright. Wiped all the excess oil paint off and I've left them to dry. They've been dry now for at least 24 hours, I think, just to make sure they're all dry. Because oil paint does take a long time to dry. It was quite warm yesterday, so I probably could have left them a bit shorter and it would have been okay. But here we are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give them another all over dry brush. Possibly with a white. Let me think. Yeah, I think I'll give them a white dry brush just to highlight everything and make it all pop out. And then we're going to put snow on them. And I'll do the building bits. But we'll do that in a minute. So let me get the white dry brush done. The same as before. And then I'll come back. Alright, everything is dry brush white. I'm going to spray some airbrush, some rattling grime onto the buildings. And then in some select areas around the rock formation, just add a bit of coloration, variety. You can do this with a paintbrush. I'm just doing, because I've got an airbrush, I might as well use it. It's quicker, but a paintbrush will be fine. Just put it on. This is just, it's rattling grime. It's thinned down a little bit, maybe 1 to 1 with water. I'm going to end up dry brushing this again. I just want to get a bit of colour variation. It's quite thin, you can see. So I'll do a couple of these things. I'm going to put it over some of the rocks as well, just to tie them in. I'll do a couple of layers like this, like I said. Let me get this done now, and then I will come back once they're all done. It shouldn't take too long, yeah, like I said. Okay, I'll come back once this is done. Alright, we're going for a bit of shaky cam. I've done the rattling grime. As you can see, I just put like splotches, patches of it. Just to tie the buildings in with the rocks. I've done it on these a bit as well, less so on these hills. I've also, I don't know if I showed these in the very first video, but these are basically just the same as these buildings. But I've dropped a bit of white ink into the runes and then sprayed over it with the same orange that I did my dwarfs. Which I think is Griff Charger orange or something, Griffhound orange or something I think it is. And just airbrush that on and then dry brush over the top of everything. So the next stage, snow. I showed that, I did show how to make that in my other video, but I'll show it again. Let me get all the bits together and then we'll do some snow and ruin everything with some snow. But I think they're looking pretty good so far. They're nearly done. One last step and then we're done. That's some nice dwarf terrain. Okay, my first attempt at this was a disaster. You'll never see that video. It went. I might put a clip. But let's try again. Bicarbonate of soda, baking powder. I'm not sure what the difference is. Glue. White paint. Ink. let's bosh them together and see what happens. All right, I think I've got a reasonable consistency with it now. I'm just gonna start. Can you see? Yeah, I'm just gonna start slopping it on. And up a bit where I think snow. Where to go? Up here. I haven't got very much of this, unfortunately, so I'm going to be fairly conservative with it. That's okay. Less is more than that, right? Up in here where it will gather. A little bit on top of the door. Bits. Right, so once I've put this mixture on everywhere, I'm going to sprinkle more of it over the top to add to the snowy texture. I'm just trying to be as random as I can with this paintbrush. And then we just sprinkle. Knock the excess off. Okay. You see that okay? There we go, we've got like a nice snowy mountainside. Alright, I need to work quickly with this stuff because it will set and dry fairly quickly, so I need to get the rest of them done if I can quickly before it dries. And then once I'm done, I'll come back and we'll see the final result. Okay, all done. Nice set of terrain. As you can see, it matches my dwarfs nicely. Yeah, so I'm gonna, there's a tournament tomorrow that this train's gonna get used in. I'm gonna do a walk through the tournament as well, get some pictures of all the tables. I get some pictures of this as well. But if you have any questions about it, hit me in the comments. Like, subscribe and all that jazz. Well, see you.